Welcome to this look at new mod on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. This is the mod for Friday the 13th of October. That's right, just the one, Mrs. Wembley. We did have updates the day before. I'm covering all this now. When I did the mod review on the 12th, did the mod review, edited it, was posting it, and the updates for the 12th popped into the mod hub. So it was too late to put them into the mod review. So the updates for the other day then, we had the Gyrax Cultivator Pack by Agri Design Modding, the Lizard Easy Scrape Yard Scraper by Ross N Mods, the Lizard Rear Weight by Black Tiger, the 510 Header Trailer by AW Modding ABP Team, the Forage Storage by Missy B, and the Milk Tank Extension also by Missy B. So the mod for Friday. Apologies for the delay in this being posted. Is the Platform Trailer with Crane by Pascal Kautz, 11.78 megabytes download, 9 slots on console, and then 2 slots for the actual forklift part of this. So you can use it as a crane. And you may be asking, why do I need this? I mean, this is a little bit like having, I can remember what they call it. Is it Moffat? The lorries that have the little forklift on the back that comes off, which a lot of people have been saying we should have in game. Someone should mod one, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not a modder, but yeah. And then the question would be asked, well, wouldn't it be quicker and easier just to have a skidster loader or something else to do the same job? Potentially. People will still use autoload pallet trailers, you know, but this means that wherever you go, you've always got a crane on hand. If you get to a yard, if you get to wherever you're going, and the people there, depending on what storyline you're doing, don't have something for loading up, or it might be a tight yard, there's not enough room, this will do the job. So it looks like this when you get it. Now, it's not without its issues. Now, I don't know about PC, but console, I think because of the way the controls are done, you'll see what I mean in just a moment. But I have to say, I really like it. I think the idea of it is brilliant, and it works very well. I was a bit concerned. I thought, oh, we're going to have pallets flying all over the place. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. So, as far as the actual trailer itself goes, you'll find that under miscellaneous, or both of them actually, not just the trailer. Just there, the platform trailer, 58 grand. Slot count on that was 9, comes down to 1. And then the pallet fork that comes with it, that's 2 slots, which comes down to 1. So options on this then. We've got attach as standard, or you can have a rear trailer hitch on the back, which puts it down the bottom there, just offset. Main colour, anything on that pallet does all of that. And then rim colour. You can't actually change the sides. The sides stay grey. Then rim colour, anything on that pallet. There's a chrome there, and there's a silver as well. Or you can go for a coloured option, and then there's license plate 2. Then we go to our pallet forks, and those are just colour option, like that. Fork stays out. Now the forks don't actually adjust out wider and back in again, so it's sort of standard pallet sizes. What I'm going to try as well, which I didn't try actually when I was sort of testing this, was just the hook on this to see whether it will pick up a big bag with just the hook, or whether I need the pallet forks. I'm not too sure, but we'll have a look. That's the whole point. I have had a go at moving a pallet. I've got one on there already. Now, you need a lorry attached to this for the crane to operate. And here's where we run into our first snag. We had it with another mod. Can't remember what it was now. But then when you've got the crane and you want to hook up to the forks that come with it, it won't give you the attach option until you've detached from the lorry. It's a bit peculiar. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So what we'll do, we'll jump in the lorry, start that up, and we'll attach. So we're hooked up, which means the crane will work now. Now I can, from in here, open the sides of the back if you want to, but you want it on selected. You want the trailer selected. If I select the cab and try and get in the crane, it won't give me options to open sides and things like that. So you want it on trailer. So if I hop out now, and we go to the back and we enter this, there we go. Now, I can open the sides from here, which does that. We can do tension straps, which is great. And then we can do our crane. Now the camera angle only goes as low as that, so if you want any other camera angle like to get lower, it's difficult. The other problem I had was, that is the camera angle. I can't get that camera to go any lower than that in this camera angle, and it will tilt, which is, if you're trying to look at that, oh man, it makes you feel sick. Now I don't know if that's, again, that could be a console problem, I'm not too sure. Because I'm sure when I first got in it, it seemed to be in the right position, then it went a bit wonky. So you have to kind of do it from out of here. When I first did it, it was perfect, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. So if we zoom in a little bit now, crane then is straightforward in that we've got, actually we'll do that one first. R1, right stick up and down, and side to side, up and down. Like that. And then side to side does that. Then L1, right stick side to side, does our swing, and forwards and backwards, or up and down, shall I say, does that. Which is absolutely great. But what I'm going to try, now you might be looking and thinking, well, that's all well and good. How long does that boom extend? Because, I mean, that's, you know, and it extends quite a way, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cool. Let's extend that boom. But will that boom reach all the way to the end of the lorry? Which, you know, and you think, well, that's going to be unsettled, it's going to be a lot of weight on the boom, it's going to tip things up. Oh, this has another trick up its sleeve. L1, R1. Right stick up and down. Look at that. Is that not just absolutely mint? I love that. Foot pedals, you see your feet going? Look at that. I'm really liking this. And then we can rotate the actual, on L1, R1, we can rotate the hook as well. So what I want to try and do, and this might be, again, this might not work because of the fact it's attached to the lorry, and this, like I say, could be a control issue. But it's difficult to get the angle right because you can't get the camera any. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Let's bring that back. Swing it that way a little bit more. Bring it back a little bit. Down a little bit. Right. So we're at the bag. But I've got no option to hook up to that bag. And it's the same with the hook the other side. And here's the weird thing. If I now go to my lorry, we'll see if this works. And I detach. Oh, and it's now saying attach. Right, so from in cab, I can attach the bag like that. So I have to get out and it was only let me do it before if I detached from the trailer. But if I get into the cab, it lets me attach. So it's obviously down to do with the controls. So once I've got into the cab, I attach the bag. It was a bit odd, but anyway. Now, what I've done specifically on this, these are from I've got a couple of extra mods installed. So rather than being 1,000 or 2,000 litre bags, that's a 4,000 and that's an 8,000. Now I know this is over stressing it. I was just curious to see how this would fare trying to lift. Oh, actually, that 4,000 litre bag? No, barely even realise it's on there. Now what is good about this as well, zoom in a bit more, that hook stays in its orientation. So if I rotate this round, the bag stays in the orientation it's in, unless I decide L1, R1, I'm going to rotate it. And the bag will gradually come round, there you go, until we straighten it. See what I mean? It's staying in its orientation, which is pretty cool. And I can adjust myself along. Hopefully, he says. I'm not going to lie. I really wasn't sure about this. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know. It's it's going to be one of those really finicky. It's not going to work properly. So the question is, can I detach? No. So I can't detach from the bag. I'm assuming what I'm going to have to do now, get back in the cab, detach. I mean, that's not the end of the world, is it? Now it's giving me the option to attach. That's very strange. Anyway, but the bag's off. Right, so... Oh, am I back in the cab again? That's why. Right, now it's not letting me back in the crane. That's not good. There we go. So, just wasn't in the right position. So what I want to do now is try and attach to this. And again, I'm thinking I'm going to have to go out and get into the... Takes a little bit of getting used to the controls, but we'll get there. Yes, it's not giving me an attach option. I want to be as close to it as I possibly can be. That's about right there. So I think I'm going to have to do the same thing again. Go back to the cab, and it will say attach. There we go. Now we're on our crane, brilliant, on our pallet forks. And again, the pallet forks, I thought, okay, well these are going to be all over the shop. No, they're pretty stable, I'm not going to lie. And like I say, you see that orientation it's in now? So if I rotate this around, let's go up, we go Oh, and that's moving in and out. I take that back. On that option. Oh, there we go. We can adjust the pallet forks. That's pretty cool. So if I now... Why am I not getting the option to... In, out? I've lost my up and down option. Oh, this is weird. Now I've got slide on that as well, like that, which I didn't have. I've just used this and I didn't have any of these, so I can slide that up and down on there. Can bring that in and out. Well, that's pretty cool for a little bit of adjustment. But what I have now lost is my... I can open and close those. I can bring that up and down. What I've lost now, I can rotate like that, I can move like that, but I can't swing my crane. Now the crane won't rotate. I'm going to have to go back in the cab, aren't I? I'm pressing triangle, because I think the problem is, at the moment, I'm set on the forks, which is what's given me all those extra options which I didn't have before. I'm pressing triangle, it's not letting me switch between the forks, the crane and the lorry. So I think what I'm going to have to do, if I go to my lorry and now do that, I should be on the crane. That should give me more rotation. Okay. So this is what I was saying. I was going to say. There we go. It does have a few limitations. So I've got that back now. Like that. We've got that, and that. And we've got that, and we've got our rotation. But if we want to move the forks in and out, or we want that slide option, we have to switch to the forks. So what? Okay, let's I think what I've done now. The problem is I've opened those forks right out, haven't I? You notice as I'm rotating, the forks are staying in the angle they're pointed at, which is actually very, very handy for when you're loading onto the lorry, because I can switch them around whichever way I want. If I bring them like that and then put it down, well, you'll see when I put a pallet on, and I go forwards or backwards, it'll bring those pallet forks out directly straight. It won't twist them, which means loading onto the lorry is a lot easier than you would expect anyway. I'm going to try an IBC actually, because I haven't done that yet. Now, am I going to be in a position I can do this? I'm not sure here. So what I need to do is rotate that, bring that in, swing that. Like I say, if I do that, this is the angle but I can't see the IBC. I need that to come down lower, and it just won't. So if I bring that down now, that's as low as that angle goes, so I can't actually get down to the bit where I need to see where that is. That's, say, my only gripe. It's frustrating, so I've got to kind of bring it to here. Yeah, I would say it's the camera angles aren't great. Can I switch from it? No. I've got to go back to the cab again to change my tool, which is really frustrating, because in the moment, if I'm operating the crane, I want to be able to switch between the crane and the forks, because I want to adjust those forks in and out. If I've got to keep getting in and out the cab, it's an unusual one, and I shouldn't have adjusted them. Right, if I bring that all the way down there, like that, bring it forward. Almost there, there's the side. Right, so we're almost there. I just need to bring those forks in. That's really annoying. Yeah, so I think that's... to me, I think it's going to need an update. But, I mean, it's a minor thing to have to keep jumping out of the cab. But like I say, if you want to operate the crane all from here, you don't really want to be doing that. There, if I bring those forks in, there we go. And now I can't switch back again. So I've got a bit of movement there, bit of movement there, and whoa, no. Can slide that, yeah, I've got to be able to adjust that. Which is what I need to back on the crane now, not on the forks. That's frustrating. But if I leave those forks, and my advice would be don't adjust the forks. If you leave the forks in the position they're in the narrower configuration, they will work on IBCs, they'll work on any pallets. I would say don't adjust them. I mean, that's just... So what should happen now is I can just do that. It's a little bit fiddling, but we'll get there. There we go. So I'm in a position now where I'm happy with that. That's pretty much on. I suppose I'd go a little bit. There we go, a little bit further. So raise that up. Bring that in because I don't want it too high. I mean, it's working. I honestly thought it was going to be unstable. I thought it'd be all over the shop. But I'm liking it. It's working. Raise that. Now if I rotate that around, and I want it in that orientation because I want it perpendicular to the lorry, and then I rotate that around, it stays perpendicular. That's brilliant. I like that a lot. And then we trundle along. Oh, it shouldn't have twisted that way. That's where I want to go. Let's get it perpendicular again. I know this is like any crane operation. It's learning and just taking your time to familiarise yourself with the controls, and then the more you do it, the more au fait you get with it, the easier it becomes, and the cooler things are. Let's bring that down. That looks about the right position to me, actually. I'm just thinking, do I need to come forward a little bit more? I probably do. There we go. Let's go to about there. Right. So what I'll do now is lower that down like that. And if I retract that, because it's in that orientation, it stays perpendicular. That should... Ah, that's interesting. Oh no, that's right. I don't want to remove the crane, I want to move myself. Just keep it perpendicular, because if I retract the crane now, if you look at the crane arm, the boom is going to bring itself backwards, but it's going to bring itself backwards centrally. So when you want to release the pallets, that's what I did, you want to bring the whole crane back, not the crane arm. So if I back up now, there you go, it brings it out perpendicular and it doesn't cause any problem. If I retract the crane arm is trying to bring itself central and it will move the pallet I've just unloaded. I could spend hours doing this, just getting yourself used to what it's doing and how it works. Do I want to do another one, or are people fed up? So I think that's probably the thing as well, is when you load in like this as well, is get it into the position you want and then move the entire crane, rather than me doing what I was doing before, where I'm doing this all the time. Once you get in the position you want it in, like about there, I guess, maybe a little bit further, then drop it down a little bit, go to about there, and now we move the entire crane, like, hang on, let's go up a bit. Yep, there we go, then move. Like that. Boom. I suppose the other thing as well you can do, I'll be a little bit easier, a little bit harder for unloading though. You could rotate them and put them on from the side, but then that would be trickier. Yeah, that would be tricky for getting the pallet forks out, I was going to say. I was just thinking if you do it that way, but then you've got to... Yeah, that's going to be a lot harder to do. You're probably better off doing it than I was doing. But it's going to be one of those things that people will fiddle around and you'll work out all different ways of doing it. It's brilliant. Am I going to put that on there? Probably not now. Just realised I've floofed that right up, haven't I? Because the position I've left myself in, I don't know if I can get those forks out, can I? Do that. Drop that down. No, I don't even get those forks out now, am I? Not without taking the pallet with it. I don't know though. Oh, I tell you, if I get these out, it's going to be a miracle. That probably wasn't how I wanted to go about it, but nope, that was awful. But it's on. Oh dear. Anyway, I know that's been a lot longer than you probably wanted to watch. And it's only one mod, and probably this is going to be over 10 minutes long now, and I suppose 15 minutes. But it's cool. Have a play around with it. It's a brilliant bit of kit. I mean, I'd like to say, apart from the fact that to switch between... No. Like I said, it takes a bit of practice. Yeah, apart from the fact that to switch between the items, you've got to go to the cab and then switch between lorry, crane and forks. But it has got a lot of versatility. And that could just be down to console because of the amount of controller options you've got. I guess to have all of that variability, the fact it needs to have that option to slide that bit, that option to open and close those, that's got to be on one. But then we've had lots of items before where you can switch between each piece of equipment from whatever you're in. That's all that needs to change, is that from in this position in the crane, I can press triangle and I can switch between lorry, crane and forks. That's all that needs to change. If you can do that, then everything else will work. And yeah, and then once you're done and it's all in properly and you've done a really good job, like I did, you can pack the whole thing away. Cool. The platform trailer with crane by Pascal Kautz. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.